Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, hold your tears, get the napkins. You might cry a little bit. Batting coach Sean Casey will not be back next year. So the batting coach of the Yankees brought in towards midseason, former player, former MLB Network analyst, will not be returning. He announced on his podcast, The Mayor's Office, that he feels, quote unquote, it's just not the right time for that, or it's not the perfect time for that. So whatever that means like that. I just really think he sees this roster as like, I can't do anything with these guys, so I'm not going to sit here and take the brunt of blows. I'm going to go do something else, so I don't blame him like that. So we'll look into that whole situation. Again, I'm not really big on hitting coaches. I don't really think they do that much. I think maybe pitching coaches could just do a lot more, just because you think with arm slots and release points and things like that. That's something I think you could coach a little bit more. The batting, I don't really put too much in stock into hitting coaches, because, and again, you never see one stay with a team permanently, which just tells you all you need to know. These guys are in and out all the time, drop like flies, bring up a new one. It's not a long-term thing, so I think it's a fluff position. But nevertheless, Sean Casey will not be back for the Yankees next season. So we'll get into that, as well as we finally do have our World Series settled upon. It's probably one of the more unlikely pairings you would have guessed, but it's going to be the Texas Rangers versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, it's good in one way, because now it's finally two teams that are neither the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Houston Astros, and like the first time like 8 seasons, neither one of those teams have been in the World Series. So look good. Get to see some fresh teams in there, which is refreshing that end. But it's not exactly the most excitable World Series matchup there. I mean, Texas Rangers fan base, I don't know how many outside of Texas or how many Arizona Diamondbacks fans there are outside of Arizona there, so it's not the most exciting. So I'm sure MLB Network executives, I'm not sure they're dying for this matchup there, so I don't think they're going to really get a lot of eyeballs on this World Series. But nevertheless, it is refreshing to have two other teams in there, and again, teams that really haven't been there in quite some time. I think Texas last time was like 2010, and Arizona, of course, if you're a Yankee fan, you remember that disaster, 2001. So it's been 22 years for them. But the problem with those two teams is that good as refreshing, but you have to look at their records. Texas with a record of 90-72, lost out on their division, the final game of the season against the Astros, who had an identical record, but had the tiebreaker over them. But more scarily, or more frighteningly for baseball, is the record of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who came in as a wild card team and has had a record of 84-78. So they couldn't even get 90 wins. I mean, back in the day, even during the original wild card, I mean, if you didn't have at least over 90 wins, you couldn't even sniff the playoffs. Now you have a team that with only 84 wins, which is only 2 more wins better than the Yankees. The Yankees finished 82-80. Just to think of that the team's going to the World Series right now in the National League is that only 2 games are better than them. So it's not good for the brand of baseball. And if you look at some of these other teams like Baltimore, the Dodgers, and the Rays, and the Braves, some of these teams that won 99, 100 plus games there, all got shelled out pretty much early in this postseason run there. So it's a bad look for baseball, so we'll kind of get into all that if I think baseball's doing anything to tweak that. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. So wherever you get your favorite podcast, type in Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast, follow, subscribe, get notified, get these little rants like this. Again, some Yankee related, maybe a little off Yankee related, but try to keep it as Yankee related as possible. But we have a long off season ahead of us, so there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Interviews, some book authors, other podcasters, all cool stuff. Make sure you subscribe to get the inside track on that. And also, you want to get on the YouTube channel as well, the video version of the show. Go to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, subscribe there as well. And if you check out the latest episode from a day or two ago, kind of tinkered with the quote-unquote studio a little bit, add a little bells and whistles there, so a little different look. So check it out, and if you could go maybe comment, maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it. Any suggestions? Open to suggestions. There, throw something into the suggestion box. No curse words. Thank you very much. So we'll get back to mention before. Sean Casey won't be back with the Yankees next season, and I just think for the case he looks at this roster, and even if they bring in 1 or 2 good hitters there, I just don't think there's much he could do with it. So I don't blame him. Just wanted to get that heck out of here, and he actually didn't really do that much with the Yankees. The team batting average during the second half of the season went down from 231 to 221, so they lost 10 points. And the OPS, which is on base percentage plus slugging, went down from .711 to .688. So didn't get much better under him there. There were a few things like, for like a week or two, like Stanton looked like he was starting to get on a roll a little bit, got a little bit of the home run-itis, but then he kind of fell right back into his below 200-ness there. So not too much from him, and he really didn't do anything really to help rectify DJ's problem as well. So I guess he just decided, he liked it, but, it was a little bit fun for him, but I guess he'd rather do other things. So maybe he'll go back to whatever MLB Network or something like that. Good guy for the game, good personality and stuff, but it's just, again, I don't know what much more you could do with these guys. Maybe some of the younger players, like with Volpe, maybe could try to, get him hit a little bit better like that. But again, with a hitting coach, it's really hitting. you either have it, you don't. It's swing and hit the ball, see the ball and swing and hit it. And then once in a while you have players who looks like they're on the downturn of their career and they kind of tweak something and they just, become a great player again, magical. But overall, either you have it, you don't. Either you're old, you're not. And I just don't think there's really much, he could have done or anyone else could do to, get these players to hit better. It's just you got to get a quality squad. And that's basically what you got to do. That'll improve the hitting. So Sean Casey not back for the Yankees. Again, doesn't really make much of a dent either way. So we'll see who they bring in there. But the bigger problem with baseball, again, getting that to their product, is that you had teams like the Baltimore Orioles who won 100 games. They were not involved in the first round. They got to buy that because they were a top seed team. And what happens? They faced the Astros and they get wiped out, swept in 4 games because they were sitting around doing nothing for almost a week. And a couple of managers complained that yes, this had mainly for the hitters. If you're not facing live action, you go have all the simulated games you want. You lose your time, you lose everything. So the top team like the Braves, which were like the best team in baseball, they got bushwhacked by the Phillies there. Arizona absolutely surprised the Dodgers. No one really saw that one coming. So it's bad for your sport because again you have 6 months of the season, 5-6 months of the season, and then just like a week or two later, all your top teams that were great during the regular season, all pretty much wiped out, and now you just have this 84 win versus a 90 win team. Now it adds excitement and stuff like that, but it's really overall not good for your game because basically it renders your regular season as basically useless. And you could do all the right things. Again, the Braves, everyone's going crazy over the Braves all season. Even with Matt Olson, it's like, the Yankees could have had him, a year or two ago, and look how great he's doing, all this good stuff like that, and Acuna and all that stuff. Well, that's all gone in a flash. So not good for the game of baseball. This is from last year when they added the extra round of the wild card. It gets more teams involved. So yes, you like it from that aspect. You get more fans, their eyes in the game there, but you do run the risk of this is where you have pretty much, I won't say middle level playoff teams, almost like low level playoff teams going all the way to the final dance there. Man, it's not really should happen. You gotta say something like Houston, all right, they only had 90 wins, but we know who Houston is. They're very experienced. They've been to the World Series a couple of times there, so even if they don't have the number of wins they normally have, you can at least understand them getting into the World Series. You can't really understand a team like Texas with 90 wins getting into the World Series, especially the fact they kind of lost DeGrom early on in the season, and they made some smart moves, some smart pickups, but not really a team you're expecting to be in the World Series. You would figure maybe it'd be Tampa with their 99 wins, or Baltimore with their 100 wins, or Houston like that. You're not expecting to take and of course, the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, you take them versus the Braves versus the Phillies and versus the Dodgers. I mean, the Diamondbacks would be the least favorite in there, and again, get hot at the right time, and that's just something I was hoping the Yankees could have done. That's why I really thought Hal made the right decision by sticking with the team and not trading off, because look, this goes to show that you just get in there, you get hot, you get a hot pitcher and a couple of hot hitters, and you could knock off all the top teams. They got to be in the dance to get there. So that's why I thought it was important for the Yankees to try to get into the dance. Unfortunately, this never really fell short, never really got an opportunity to do so. But this goes to show the records don't mean anything. Just get in there, but that's not really good for the game of baseball. Now, is Major League Baseball going to do anything to correct that? I don't think anytime near term. I mean, I just think they like the idea of more teams in it because that's more revenue, more games on TV, more seats being sold, and more fan bases kind of clued into the game versus kind of dropping off in August and kind of turning their focus onto football, which they kind of do anyway. But still, if your team's got a shot, at least you're going to pay attention a little bit more. So I don't see baseball doing away with it. Now, if this happens like another 2 or 3 years in a row, again, it's just bad for their product when you have your 199 win teams sitting ice cold for a week, and then when they got a team that's been playing just maybe within a couple of days, they get wiped out. So that's not good for the product. So if that happens another year or two, maybe then I can see baseball trying to find a way to restructure it and just kind of really, really penalize the teams that are on the bottom end of the wild card, get almost like no rest at all, or maybe just shorten the days off in between these series so these teams are not waiting around like a whole week or so to play active baseball game. They're going to have to tweak something because not good for your sport when all your top teams are pretty much not involved in your World Series. That's the whole thing. That's it's like it happens in football too one time, so it goes both ways. But really, to have all the good baseball teams, the Braves, the Dodgers, Tampa, teams that are just around the 100 win mark or over, all just being wiped out very quickly, it's not good for the sport and not good for the brand of baseball. So we'll see with baseball. I don't think they'll tweak anything moving forward, but if this happens in another season too, you could probably expect that. So that's the episode, kind of short on the side, but make sure you subscribe. There's a lot more stuff coming up. Catch you next time.